Hello, my guys. Welcome back to Spill the Tea with Helen. How are you guys doing? Let me know.
Oh my god, look at all those hot guys. Oh, they are so my type. Because they're trash. I like trash.
So, it seems like Haylee Baylee is trying to usurp the Kardashians and become the most hated influencer on the internet. Because from the moment she committed that let them eat cake blunder, she seems to be constantly doing something to trigger people on the internet. And it seems like there's a group of people on the internet now who are dedicated to monitoring Haylee to find out what they can hate about her every week. And now someone else has called Haylee out for something that I believe will go viral soon. That is, if it has not already gone viral. And I'm here to give you the tea. Now, she's not just calling out Haylee, but she's also calling out someone that's closely affiliated with Haylee. And this dragging is in 3 parts. She made 3 parts of it. So stay tuned to get the whole gist. So we all know about that "who the F did I marry" trend that took over TikTok a few months ago, and how many people, that's mostly women, jumped on the trend to reveal the horrible relationships and marriages that they stayed in before, their common sense kicked in and they left. So back to our gist. Haylee Baylee jumped on the trend recently. That's the "who the F did I marry" trend. Well, her own is "who the F did I date?" And in a now deleted video, she spoke about dating a billionaire and the messy stuff that happened in the relationship. Now, that's not the tea for today though, because they called her out. They noticed that she was lying about the whole relationship with the billionaire and everything. So that's not the tea that we're trying to talk about today. But what we are saying is kind of coming from it. That's why I pointed it out. So what we're talking about today is another TikToker who called out both Haylee Baylee and the guy she seems to be currently dating, one Kyle Vieira.
Yeah. What you out here being messy for?
Now, this TikToker, who goes by the name Jamie Stone on TikTok, said that she was once in a relationship with Kyle and it was very toxic. It was a very toxic relationship where he constantly cheated on her with several women and made her scared for her life. When she found out through her own investigation, no, he did not tell her. She found out through her own investigation that he has an STD which he kept from her. So when she found out that Haylee was giving this guy a platform, Haylee has about 10 million followers on TikTok. She decided to tell Haylee about this guy, about how he's a serial cheat, how he's manipulative, and how he has an STD that is hiding from women, and how he sleeps around in New York and everything.
Who the Did I Date series, a real one, not a fake one, with a little twist. Okay, so clearly we all saw my last video, and a lot of you are wanting me to elaborate on my experience. I reached out to her about this very bad man that she's continuing to give a platform to, like single-handedly giving a platform to. He didn't have a platform before she came in the picture. She has been putting him in her videos, helping him make his own TikToks, helping him get millions of views on his videos, and this man is a danger to society. Let me rephrase that. He's a danger to women, okay? Lots of women. Girls, young girls. So it's a typical cliche: liar, cheater, manipulator, emotionally abusive. Very toxic relationship. I was an amazing girlfriend to him. I did nothing to deserve the treatment that I got. Not that anyone does something to deserve that. And while those are very important and hold a lot of weight, the reason why I feel compelled to say these things and make a video about it, which trust me, have gone back and forth about a million times and driving the people around me crazy asking their advice about it, because I don't want to stir the pot. I don't want to cause a bunch of drama. I really, really don't. But I also feel a responsibility to women to let them know what this man is capable of. Because even through posting that last video, multiple women have come forward to me with their own stories about him. And it just further proves what I already know to be true, just how many women he sleeps with in New York City and doesn't tell them something very important. So this happened 6 months into us dating. I was over his apartment and I was convinced that he was cheating on me again, because he cheated on me a lot and I always caught him talking to girls, looking at girls, being really inappropriate. The list goes on. So I had this hunch, right? And whenever he got back into town, I was over at his place and I start snooping around his apartment to find dirty comments to prove it, because I know he's gonna lie to my face. I know I need to have some sort of proof, right? So I start digging through his trash, which I know is insane, but I'm like, I need to find this proof. And I actually found a bunch of pill bottles with the name of the medication and his name scratched out on all of them. And I was like, that's weird. Why are you scratching out pill bottles? So he actually missed the name of the medication on one of the bottles. So then I was able to Google it. And I found out what exactly it was for. And it was for a certain thing that you can spread via intimacy. And obviously he and I had been intimate because we were dating. So yeah, needless to say, my heart sank. I was terrified because now I'm wondering, oh my God, not only am I like, oh my God, this man's cheating on me again, already super upset about that. Then I'm like, oh my God, this man has this and I have been intimate with him. I'm like, do you have this thing? And he's like, no, lies to me again. And I'm like, dude, do you know that if I'm sitting here asking you about it and we continue to be intimate, that you can literally go to prison because that is illegal? And then that's whenever he actually breaks down and tells me the truth. This isn't some like good guy that's like looking for his wife. This is a man that consistently exploits, uses, manipulates, and just treats women really, really badly. And I know this because I've talked to them and I have my own experience. So I DM her and I was like, girl, the guy in your recent videos has this. This is how I found out. She replies almost immediately and is like, oh my God, no way. She's freaking out. She can't believe it. I'm telling her more information, you know, other things about him, about who he is as a person and the ways that, you know, he was just a really bad guy to me in the relationship, just to get the full picture. She's super receptive and she says, you know, I'm a girl's girl. Like, I believe women. I believe you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. You know, like, I'm so happy that she's so open to this and she's not just being defensive. And I said that to her and I thanked her for not being defensive. Then she goes on to just, you know, thank me and like, you know, I never would have known, like, you saved me, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, she says she's about to confront him. And I was like, oh my God, like, oh God. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm here if you need to ask me any questions, like I can confirm anything because I'm assuming he's probably about to lie to her a lot.
Now, like I said, these confessions are in 3 parts, but each video is about 8 minutes long, and I don't want you to have to watch the whole 8 minutes of the 3 videos. So I'm going to be cutting the videos, you know, to get us straight to the point. I hope that's okay. So in part 2 of Jamie Stone's confession, she said Haylee Baylee confronted Kyle, and Haylee also thanked Jamie for helping her dodge a bullet in quotes. Now, all fine and good, Haylee Baylee now has this information about this guy and she knows not to pursue anything personal with him. But what Jamie was trying to get Haylee to do was to deplatform the guy, like stop promoting him so that other women will not be seeing him and, you know, and get enamored by him, so that he will basically not have access to other women. But Haylee was not prepared to do that. Now let's go to part 2.
She confronts him and I don't really like hear from her for like the rest of the night. And then the next morning I wake up to a DM from her and she's like, hey, here's my number, by the way, text me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I text her and I'm like, hey girl, what's up? And so she just starts profusely thanking me. Oh my God, you're a lifesaver. You saved me. Thank you so much. You really helped me dodge a bullet. Meanwhile, let me preface that the whole time that I was telling her this information via DM, initially, that she kept saying that they were just friends and that he was like heavily pursuing her, but she wasn't interested in him. She is texting me and we're going back and forth at this point. I start sending her voice memos, she starts sending me voice memos, and we are just like having this like camaraderie, like, you know, men are awful, girl power moment. And I'm telling her a bunch of like really detailed stories about like what this man did to me, and they're horrific. Along with obviously the story about how I found out and just all the lies, all the manipulation, and just like how bad it was. And she's telling me some stories of hers where she's like, you know, starting to see his character coming out here and there, but wasn't quite sure. And I kind of just like made it official to her that he like was this bad person. So her plan is to make the men suck content and unfollow him. And then she's like, I'm never speaking to him again. I am so done with him. He's about to go out of town too for a week. So like he can't try to grovel his way back in. And I'm just like in full support. I'm like, yes, sister. She's also telling me her own stories about how she kind of mentioned the possibility of him having something and he lied to her about it too. I don't know how this came up or, you know, what the deal was, but she told me a very explicit story of how he, you know, lied about it. She knows, and I know for a fact, that he's still out there lying about it and not being forthcoming about it while trying to get with people, sleep with people. She starts posting the men suck content, right? and boys are awful, blah, blah, blah. And like kind of just playing into that whole thing. She makes one video in particular that, oh my gosh, those boys over there are so cute. And it's like a bunch of like trash bags on the street. And she's like, oh, because I like trash. I am under the impression that she gets it. She knows how much of a danger this man is. A few days goes by. I haven't talked to her. You know, I'm giving her space. I don't want to be all up in her shit, you know. And then she randomly at like 1 a.m. in the morning posts a video with him like in the street, like twirling around again. And I was like, what the f-? Pops up on my For You page. Heart sinks, per usual. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, surely it's an old video and she just has nothing to post, so she's just posting it. And so she DMs me on TikTok and she's like, don't worry, it's an old video. And I was like, oh, okay, I kind of figured. I was like, you know, how are you doing, by the way? And then she's like, oh, you know, I'm doing good. It actually just didn't affect me at all. Like, I don't see men that way. I just see them as coworkers. And I kind of talked about it, like, it kind of seemed like her vibe was changing a little bit. And I was like, why does she keep talking like this? Like, she kept saying like, oh, men are just coworkers. I'm like, okay. And then I found out later on it's because she was prepping me for all of the content she was about to post with him. So the next day, another video. And I'm like, wait, I'm so confused. Why are you posting him like this? I don't understand. I thought we were in total agreement that this is a bad man who does not need a platform and does not need more access to women. So I DM her, I'm like, why are you tagging him? Like, please, for the love of God, do not prop this man up. He's the last person that needs to be propped up. Listen, at the end of the day, be friends with him if you want to, but why give him a platform if you know these things? I was like, is this like your bestie now? Like, what's going on, girl? And she's like, no, like, he's not my bestie, but like, we do film content together. And, you know, I had a really, really, really long talk with him and I made him sign like something contractually to like make sure that like he would be if he ever did anything. And at that point, I'm just like, oh, here we go. Like, because this man is at your beck and call for content and it's good for you to have someone to make all this content with. Now you're saved and you can just friend zone him. But now he's just out there getting more recognition. More girls are going to be curious about him. He's already getting written about, you know, across different platforms. All of your followers are going to his page, wondering who he is, saying, oh my God, I can't wait till you're famous, blah, blah, blah. And you're doing all that just so you can have someone to film content with?
Now, there's one thing we say in Nigeria, and the saying goes like this: them know they advise who they in love. And this means that when a person is in love, it is extremely difficult to advise them because they will not listen. Remember the saying, love is blind, Abi? That might be the case here. And if it isn't, then it might just be that Haylee is not ready to lose a man who she has propped up so much that her audience are now dependent on content that involves him. Whatever the reason, I understand where Jamie is coming from, because allowing this man to share your platform of 10 million followers gives him a massive opportunity to grow his own following and makes him more desirable to women, because let's face the fact, people are attracted to famous people. And seeing that he's already someone who cannot keep his infected third leg in his trousers, chances are very high that he receives every opportunity he gets to get involved with as many women as possible. So I get why Jamie is trying to get Haylee to deplatform him and stop making him more famous.
So obviously the last thing I said to her was like, you know, it's your responsibility now to make sure this doesn't happen to other women. And she's like, 100%. That is why I made him sign something. I don't understand the like lengths that you would go to for all of that. Why would you not just stop making content with him? You literally said you didn't care about this man and then now you suddenly do care about him. Or is it just that it's extremely convenient that he's around to film whatever you need to film? So, you know, I'm sending her the receipts. I'm sending her what I can send her. And she's like, do you have any more proof? And I'm just like, for what, dude? What the else do you need to know from me? I'm like, what? You want me to like screenshot all of our conversations? I'm like, I don't really have any other proof besides my truth, what I just explained to you and everything we talked about. And I have a new phone either way. So I don't have my old text from when we were dating. That was like, you know, a few years ago. And then she just stops responding to me. That was the last thing I said to her. And she stopped responding to me. And that was it. She did not talk to me again. This was a few weeks ago. And she has just been posting him like crazy. It's unbelievable. And helping him make so much content. I can tell that she's the one behind the content that he's making. She's doing POVs from his account and from her account. So it's like people are speculating on both accounts. It's just really weird. It's really weirdo behavior, if you ask me. And it's just really disturbing.
Wait a minute. Are we surprised that a content creator was reluctant to let go of a man who was a vital part of her content and hence a big contributor to the virality of her post? Even though this man is allegedly a predator who is sharing STDs like souvenirs. You see, in this world, morals is not something that we should easily expect from people. And unless there's something forcing people to behave right, most people will not, especially when they are gaining from what they are currently doing as wrong. But I believe that the heat from Jamie's post was already getting to Haylee because according to comments on Jamie's post, Haylee has already deleted the videos that features this guy, and even the guy in question has put his own social media pages on private and apparently changed his TikTok name. The power of social media, I guess. But what do you think, Sha? Let me know in the comment section. Like, is Jamie blowing it out of proportion, or does Haylee really have a responsibility to save other women from this guy by deplatforming him and by not making him famous? You get? Let me know what you think in the comments. And as usual, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and turn on your notifications if my content is a cup of tea and you want to see more of my videos. And this will also encourage me to keep up the good work. And until I come your way again, take care. Abstinence is the best protection against STDs. And bye-bye.